If you play Warzone 2, Apex Legends, Fortnite, Valorant or PUBG, should you upgrade to the latest AMD drivers? Well, we've downloaded the latest drivers and tested this in all these games, so you would have to. Now obviously this driver is designed for the latest RX 7600 hardware, but let's see if this has any effect on our last gen hardware or older hardware. In this test, we've used our RX 6600 XT paired with our Ryzen 5800 X3D. SAM and XMP has been enabled in the BIOS. Let's go! As always, we are using real-world competitive settings on all our games, boys, and we are comparing our latest drivers to the previous driver, which is 23.4.1, and we've done this multiple times to ensure we've got the best and the most consistent results. Let's start off with Call of Duty Modern Warfare Warzone 2, and in this instance we are running 1080p and 1440p with FSR 2.1, and right off the bat with 1080p you can see that both drivers have GPU utilization maxed out. Now there are slight differences between these two. You can see at our 5.1 we've got VRAM usage is a bit less compared to our 4.3 drivers. Look at that one. And RAM usage is also lesser. Well, not really. RAM usage is higher on our 5.1, but that's a negative, I suppose. Although the GPU run cooler on this one, like they're roughly more or less the same clocks but this one's a little bit cooler. Performance is roughly the same for these guys. So let's go with our 1440p with FSR 2.1, and you can see right here. Then we still enjoy the same thing. The VRAM is also a bit lesser on our 5.1, and then RAM usage is also lesser, which is quite good. Everything else is more or less the same. Yep, like the GPU, the gaming performance is more or less the same in here. I mean, this is like yeah, minor differences, like that's margin of error. Alright, now on our previous test we found out that anti-lag plays a crucial part in Warzone 2, so we're going to test this with both off as well. So this is 1080p with anti-lag turned off, and you can see in our 5.1 the VRAM is high. According, the VRAM is a bit higher, which is, yeah, as per our benchmark. And then in here we've got anti-lag turned on, and you can see that our RAM usage is higher as well. And although the GPU is slightly cooler, performance is more or less the same, but you can see with anti-lag turned on there is a big difference. Okay, let's proceed with Apex Legends, and we're running competitive settings, boys. Anti-lag has been turned off on this one. Let's say do this in our firing range, and we'll get like 5.1 in here. VRAM is slightly lower as well. RAM is lower too on our 5.1 driver. We've got like, let's see this one here. I think we've got like slightly better results in here. Look at that, with heavy action scenes we've got slightly better results on our latest driver. On still shots it's still the same, like VRAM is slightly lower and RAM usage is also lower for our latest driver. So but performance overall is roughly the same for both drivers, gaming performance that is. So yeah, let's go with Fortnite. Now we're going to invest a lot of time in Fortnite because we've got like multiple APIs in here, DX11, DX12, performance mode. Alright, so yeah, so we'll start off with DX11 in here, and you can see our 0.1% lows are really bad on both in here. So yeah, and our 5.1 we do have like VRAMs is slightly lower, RAM is lower too, and we've got GPU utilizations a bit, yeah, I think we've got like yeah, a bit mixed in GPU utilization. Overall the performance is roughly the same, maybe slightly better, 1.1% lows, but yeah, let's go with DX12 in here, and we can see that our VRAM is slightly lower too. VRAM usage slightly lower. RAM has, although RAM has increased, a little bit higher compared to our previous driver here, and but overall performance is roughly the same. This is like margin of error, boys, and if you like these type of tests, boys, please ensure that you subscribe, and yeah, and you know, you'll be up to speed with any hardware updates and driver updates. Okay, let's go to performance mode, and in this test we've got issues with anti-lag turned on before, so we're going to do anti-lag turn on and off. We'll start off with anti-lag turn off in here, and yeah, frame times suck at both these things. Like both drivers, frame times suck, but we've got like VRAM is lower, RAM is also lower. Performance is roughly the same for both. Maybe there's like worse 0.1% lows, but yeah, that's about it. Right, so we'll try this one with anti-lag turn on. If you remember previously, we got issues with anti-lag turn on, so let's try this one. And it's roughly the same thing. VRAM is also lower, VRAM usage lower, RAM usage is also lower compared to our 4.3 drivers. Frame times still suck. Yeah, AMD, you need to fix the frame times or performance mode. This is really crucial. But overall performance is roughly the same here, right? They're more or less the same, boys. Apart from those minor things. Okay. Yeah, they're more or less the same. So yes, let's carry on with Valorant. We've got 1080p in here with competitive settings, and yes, competitive settings. So let's try this one out. Right, and right off the bat you can see that our 5.1 has higher GPU utilization with about roughly the same thermals in there. VRAM usage is also lower, RAM usage is also lower, although CPU utilization is higher, which probably explains why we're able to get a few more frames in some of these areas here. Let's go with some heavy action scenes, always throwing grenades and stuff. VRAM and RAM usage is still the same. We'll get maybe a slightly lower average FPS, but that's still high enough. Alright, okay, lastly we go with PUBG, and we've got like 1080p competitive settings here, a DX11 enhanced, and yes, our VRAM for both of this, the 4.3 and 5.1, the same. RAM usage slightly higher on the 4.3 driver, so that's a plus, but our overall performance in this case is a bit lower on the latest driver. So if you're playing PUBG, it may not be a good idea to upgrade to the latest driver. Now we've got it's probably because our CPU utilization and our latest driver is a bit lower, and that probably translates to lower FPS as well. So yeah, it's a mixed bag with this latest driver. Some are good, some are not so good. You know, minor differences here and there. It's all up to you if you want to upgrade to the latest drivers. If you want these things, please remember to subscribe to the channel. Lastly, we have recently done a deep dive with the RX 6600 XT on this suite of games. So if you're thinking of looking to that further, click this video right here, and we'll see you guys over there.